Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for listening to my presentation on how to become a better ally to the LGBTQIA plus community in your library. My name is Lauren Tubbs-Ezell. My pronouns are she, they, and I hope you enjoy this visual toolkit that provides some resources on making your library a more inclusive space for the LGBTQIA plus community. The goal of this visual presentation is to provide tools for libraries to encourage inclusivity of the LGBTQIA plus community in libraries and in librarianship. This is not a comprehensive talk, but it will put you in the right direction towards inclusivity. Here are some of the objectives that we will be discussing today: pronouns and pronoun respect, gender neutral spaces, LGBTQIA plus microaggressions, and finally, why this all matters. So let's get started. Going back to your English courses, pronouns in the English language specifically is a word that refers to either the people talking or someone or something that is being talked about. Most cultures are based on what is considered a binary society, where people and objects are viewed in a masculine and feminine lens. For example, boats in English are often considered she. However, in Spanish, the word sombrero is a masculine item, meaning a man's hat. More than just an identifier, pronouns are part of someone's gender expression, and people can have multiple sets of pronouns for themselves. Pronouns are not preferred, but instead are required for respectful communication. Here are some possible pronouns that you can encounter with the LGBTQIA plus community. The pronouns z, zim, and zers, pronounced with a Z sound, although spelled with an X, refers to a person that normally does not identify with a gender inside a societal binary. These people are sometimes considered non-binary, gender fluid, or gender queer. It may sound strange, but gender neutral pronouns are not a foreign concept. Many cultures have them today, including English, German, French, Spanish, Swedish, and even Japanese. So, what can you do to make your library more inclusive when it comes to pronouns? The first thing you can do is call people by their pronouns. This is a simple yet impactful way to make your space more inclusive. Display your pronouns. Making your pronouns visible again makes the concept more commonplace and therefore inviting. Ask for someone's pronouns. It is better to ask a person for their pronouns than to assume based upon their appearances. Correct and move on. If you mess up and use the incorrect pronoun, just correct yourself and move on. Don't make a big deal about it. It is really the thought that counts. Moving on to gender neutral spaces, a gender neutral space is a space that is devoid of gender. It is merely a space where one can exist without having to worry about fitting in or not. Most places are set up within the binary, i.e., the workplace is for men, home is for women. But there are spaces where people can come that do not require a gender for admittance. These spaces are vital for LGBTQIA plus inclusivity. Referencing an old professor of mine, Dr. Jim Elborg, the library is a third space that exists outside of society in order to serve society. All types of people are allowed to access the library in theory. So, this sets up the library in a perfect position to become a gender neutral space. Just having the library is not enough to make it gender neutral. There are changes needed to be made to make it more inclusive. The major change is gender neutral bathrooms, or bathrooms that are not labeled specifically men's or women's. This simple gesture makes the space more inclusive for trans and non-binary members of the LGBTQIA plus community, as it removes fear and stigma that they sometimes experience in binary places. Moving on, I'm sure that you all have heard this word and you haven't really had it defined for you, but a microaggression is an indirect, subtle, or unintentional discrimination against members of a marginalized group. Microaggressions have to do with a person's member in a group that's discriminated against or subject to most stereotypes. Most people assume ethnic and racial issues when they hear the term microaggression, but the LGBTQIA plus community experiences this as well. This slide provides a few examples of microaggressions towards the LGBTQIA plus community. Some of them are more disrespectful than others, but all of them are considered a microaggression because they are based off of a stereotype regarding the LGBTQIA plus community. Some of those microaggressions can lead to this concept of outing or exposing someone's identity to others without their permission. Outing can have serious repercussions on employment, economic stability, personal safety, or religious or family situations. For example, if you ask someone if they are a boy or a girl and they are non-binary, they have to give up that information to you, and they are not sure if it is safe to disclose that information to you or not. For you, this is a simple question, but for a person in the LGBTQIA plus community, it has the potential to be a very dangerous response. So, to avoid this type of microaggression, try embracing more inclusive words. I am from the Southern United States, so I am a major promoter of y'all. Y'all means all. It doesn't refer to a specific gender or group of people, making it the perfect inclusive word. You can also use these other terms for your significant others other than husband and wife. You can use partner, spouse, beloved, or just use their pronouns. This helps specifically encourage inclusivity for LGBTQIA plus people in the workplace and helps you to avoid microaggressions that could later on be detrimental to their health while working. You all know that the American Library Association has a set of core values. One that is relevant to this talk is the core value of equal access. As stated on the ALA Core Value website, all information resources that are provided directly or indirectly by the library, regardless of technology, format, or methods of delivery, should be readily, equally, and equitably accessible to library users. Summarized, this means that knowledge is not denied to anyone. It is a vital concept for the LGBTQIA plus community, as this community is constantly being denied by society. On a personal level, I have never felt accepted anywhere as a queer person except at libraries. Even though I have been to numerous places that claim inclusivity, it is the library with a capital L that has actually evinced this for me. This is why I want to be a librarian. I want other LGBTQIA plus kids and people like myself to feel welcome and included in society. Libraries can serve LGBTQIA plus people by ensuring that this population is reflected in library collections and provided with services at the library. As a population that is often the subject of discrimination, people can benefit from the access to information which libraries provide and the sense of community which the library programs can help foster. Thank you.